wanted to feel my best when I went in that morning. I mean, I wanted to feel like, I wanted to look, I wanted to be like the all-American kid. When I went in that morning, I was hung down, I was brung down, I was hung up, I was all kinds of mean, nasty, ugly-looking things. I walked in, I sat down. They gave me a piece of paper, said, "Kid, see the psychiatrist, room 604. I went in there. I said, "Shrink, I want to kill. Man, I want to kill. I want to see blood and gore and guts and veins and my teeth eat dead, burned bodies. I mean, kill. Kill." And I started jumping up and down, yelling, "Kill, kill." And he started jumping up and down with me. And we was both jumping up and down, yelling, "Kill, kill, kill, kill." Till the sergeant come over, pinned a medal on me, sent me down the hall saying, "You're our boy." I didn't feel real good about it. But I proceeded on down the hall. They was inspecting, checking every single part of me, and they was leaving no parts untouched. And I proceeded through. I was there for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. I proceeded through until I finally come to see the very last man. I walked up, I said, "What do you want to see me about?" He said, "Kid, we only have one more question. Have you ever been arrested?" I told him the story of the Atlas's Restaurant Massacre with 5-part harmony, folk orchestration, all kinds of other phenomena. He stopped me there, he said, "Kid, did you go to court?" And I told him the story, the 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures with the circles and arrows. He stopped me again, he said, "Kid, I want you to go over, sit down on that bench that says Group W." No! No, kid. I went over Group W. Group W was where they used to put you if you might not have been moral enough to join the army after committing your special crime. There was all kinds of mean, nasty, ugly-looking people on the bench. Mother rapers, father stabbers, father rapers, senators, congressmen. There was all kinds of mean, nasty, ugly-looking people on the bench next to me. And the meanest, ugliest, nastiest one, the meanest of them all, was coming over to me, and he sat down next to me and said, "Kid, what'd you get?" I said, "I didn't get nothing. I had to pay $25 and pick up the garbage." He said, "Kid, what was you arrested for?" I said, "Littering." They all moved away from me on the bench there. Till I said, "And creating a nuisance." And then they all come back and shook my hand. And we had a great time on the bench talking about crime, mother stabbing, father raping. We were smoking cigarettes and all kinds of stuff, having a good time. Till the sergeant come over. He had some paper in his hand. He held it up. He went like this. He said, "Kid, this piece of paper got 37 words for the upset says. Want to know time, the crime, detail, the crime. You gotta say, pretend to about the crime, the rest of the officer's name, kind of thing, gotta say." And he talked for 45 minutes, but nobody understood a word he said. But we had fun filling out the forms and playing with the pencils on the bench. I wrote down the massacre like I was supposed to, and I put down my pencil, turned over the piece of paper, but there on the other side of that piece of paper, in the middle of the other side, away from everything else on the other side, underlined, capitalized, read the following words: "Kid, have you rehabilitated yourself?" I went over to the sergeant. I said, "Sergeant, you got a lot of gall to ask me. I rehabilitated myself. I mean, I'm sitting here on the Group W bench. I'm sitting here on the Group W bench because you want to know if I'm moral enough to join the army, burn women, kids, houses, children, villages after being a litter bug." He said, "Kid, we don't like your kind. We're going to send your fingerprints off to Washington. And friends somewhere in Washington enshrined in a little folder is a study in black and white of my fingerprints. They're still there. The only reason I'm singing the song tonight is because you may know somebody in a similar situation sometime sooner than you're sitting here thinking about tonight. I mean, even you might be in a situation situation like this sometime soon, and if you find yourself in something like that, and you don't know what to do, you know there might be only one thing you can do. Actually, there may not be much anybody can do, but there's something you can try. And that's to be wherever it is you're supposed to be. I mean, you know, you go down there, you sit down, you wait your turn. When you get a chance, you stand up. You go like this, you say, "Oh, shrink, excuse me, man, but you can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant," and walk out. I mean, imagine one person, even today, walking in, singing some Alice's restaurant, walking out. They're gonna say, "Hey, that guy's 40 years too late. Get that guy out of here." Imagine two of them walking in, hand in hand, singing in harmony. I don't know what the policy is exactly, but I guess if you tell them, you ain't going. So imagine three of them. They might think of some kind of organization or something. Or maybe 50 people a day going in, singing some Alice's restaurant, walking out. Friends, they might think it's a movement. And most of them be too young to know what a movement was. But that's what it was. It was the Alice's Restaurant Anti-Massacre movement. What it was, what it is, what it's always gonna be. And all you gotta do to join is to sing it with me as it comes around again on the guitar. With feeling. We're just waiting for it to come around here. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. Walk right in, it's around and back, just a half a mile from the railroad track. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. No. That seriously sucked. I mean, you can't be sitting out here tonight just singing loud at the end or something. You would have thought after all this time, you would have figured it out by now. If you want to end war and stuff, you got to learn to sing loud all the time so people can hear you. Now I know this is a long song, believe me, but it could be longer. I'm still not proud or tired, and I remember when I was a kid, when I started writing my songs, my dad took me aside one night and said, "Arlo, if you can't be great, it's better to be long." Still thinking about that, but help me out. You can get anything you want better than Alice's restaurant.